Hi, before this video begins, I have a message from our video sponsor. Do you have erectile dysfunction? Does your thing just simply not work? Well, I have the right product for you. We have a new product. It's called Gorilla Pills. Do you want to be wild in bed? Do you want to go ape mode on your partner? Use Gorilla Pills. Now, if you use the link in the description, if you use the link in the description, you get 15% off your first order. Order now because it's limited and it's very rare as well. I look like a ghost. Yeah, thanks to our sponsor. And if any other sponsors want to sponsor me, I don't mind. Thank you, Gorilla Pills. Thanks. Hi, today we're gonna be talking about Kanye West's Donda and the way that album got released. So, if you don't know what I'm talking about Kanye West's Donda. Just like I said a second ago, uh, Donda is the 10th studio album by Kanye West, named after his late mother, Donda West. This album has the craziest rollout story I've ever witnessed. I don't know if there has ever been crazier rollouts than this one. The album came out in 29th of August of 2021, and it got mixed reviews from critics, but mainly very positive reviews from what I've seen from actual fans who listen to the music. Now, let now I'm not talking about the quality of the album, but today we're talking about how the album came to be and the stages that led to the album's final release. Now we start the rollout in 2020. So about a year ago, uh, specifically in July 2020, 24th of July 2020, it was the first official release date of the album. And Kanye West announced the album, which was called, I think, Donda's Child. And it was supposed to be releasing 29th of August of 2020. Now, as we all know, or maybe you don't know what happened, the album never released. Now, Kanye did actually post an album cover on Twitter right here, and it's honestly like really cool. I think this album cover is amazing, but we're gonna talk about the album cover during this video, and you're gonna see how well this cover was never used, and the other covers that are gonna the other covers that I'm gonna cover also didn't get used, and you'll see in a few minutes what I'm talking about. So, first of all, back in July 2020, when the album first got announced, a lot of people got really excited because, well, Kanye came out of a very mediocre album, well, critically and fans wise, very mediocre album, which was Jesus is King. And people wanted more from Kanye than a seven track or an eight track. I didn't listen to that. No, I did listen to it, but not really, uh, like not extensively, like most Kanye fans. I do like On God and Follow God of that album, but as a Muslim, I can't really enjoy the album to the fullest. So, anyways, enough about Jesus is King, which was mainly a disappointment for the fans and the critics alike. So people really wanted more from Kanye. They really, really wanted more from him. So when he announced Donda, a lot of people were really excited, especially that 2020 has been so trash and shit last year, and I think everyone knows why. Now, when he announced it, he also, I think, we got a picture of the track list, but it's so like Kanye's handwriting. No one can read Kanye's handwriting, not even himself, I think. And I think he, at this point, he didn't use vowels in his words, so it all looked weird, like this. If I can find an image of what I'm talking about, I'm gonna put it right here. So now, the July 24 came and went, and we didn't get the album then. So we didn't get the album. People just made it into a meme, and people just kept waiting for it for a little bit, like maybe a week or two after July 24th. People still expected maybe some news from the album. Maybe the album will release suddenly, but after a couple of weeks of just waiting, but like very loosely, we got nothing, and everyone just forgot about the album. Memes still popped up here and there about Donda, and it's gonna be another Yandi. Now, Yandi is another Kanye album that, well, it's never released and had a similar story to the start of Donda, where it got announced, but we got nothing. But as we all know, Donda came to be something. But still, a lot of people would like to compare Yandi and Donda. Now, Yandi, personally, I love the album. I got like a few snippets and stuff from it, and it's really good. But it's not really as good as people say. Now, this video isn't about Yandi. I don't know why I'm going that tangent. So back to the main topic, which is Donda. Now, a lot of people just kept making memes about Yandi and Donda and Kanye albums not releasing, which is in and of itself a meme because, well, as we all know, he never releases albums. There's so many albums that he's announced or hinted at but never released. Now, anyways, back to Donda. Uh, a year passes by and we hear nothing from Kanye. Like absolutely nothing. No news, no tweets, nothing. And then July 2021 comes around. When July 2021 comes around, Kanye announces the album again, and people go nuts. I go nuts. I'm one of the people, and I went nuts because we got really excited. Finally, we're getting Donda. This has never happened before, I think, that like this isn't a Yanzi anymore because Yanzi only got announced once and then was forgotten about. This is Donda, and Donda is getting announced twice. So a lot of people got excited, including myself. And then, to make the excitement even more, he announced a listening party at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, and it sold out. So of course, people want this album. And if you think about it, like going back, when we heard there's a listening party and it's sold out, when you hear there is an album that has a listening party, you know that album is finished. You don't make a listening party for an album that is not finished. That just does not make sense. But, it's Kanye, so what do you really expect? Um, the the listening party came around and people attended and he played about 15 tracks, which I'm gonna put right here, the names of the tracks. Now, the all these tracks got changed, especially Hurricane in the second listening party, which I'm gonna talk about in a second. And the album got increased and got bigger with more tracks. Like the latest release of the album is the most tracks we got. Now, after the first listening party, uh, the album did sound unfinished, and the album sounded like it needed more mixing work, it needed more engineering work. It sounded very raw and like unpolished. But I personally still got excited and waited for the album. And then on July 26th, when the party came and went, it was July 27th, the next day, and the album was nowhere to be found. And then the next day, and the album was nowhere to be found. And then the next day, which is Sunday, and the album was nowhere to be found. Um, at this point, we thought it's just gonna be another Yandi, and again, I keep making comparisons to Yandi because that's what Kanye fans do. So so people kept comparing it to Yandi, and but now we have a listening party to listen to. A lot of people just ripped the listening party audio and started enjoying the album, even though it's not finished and it's not out. Now, I personally didn't do this because I want the finished product that the artist wants me to listen to. Maybe I'll listen to these like in retrospect after getting the full version of the album. So the first listening party has beautiful visuals and everything, but no album. So after a few days, rumors start to pop up that Kanye is staying in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which he did the listening party in. Rumors started to come up that he's staying in that stadium so he can finish the album, and he's gonna get locked in until he finishes it. He finishes the album. So excitement rose to a new level. Like, yes, Kanye is finishing the album and he's doing something really cool. He rented a space inside the stadium, and he posted a picture of his room, which looked like a jail cell right here. If I can find the picture, I'll put it up, and I'm pretty sure I can. And after 2 weeks, after a few days, I mean, I'm jumping ahead. After a few days, after he announced that he's staying in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium to finish the album, he basically like news came out that he's staying for 2 weeks. He's gonna get locked in, finish the album, and then it's gonna come out in 2 weeks with another listening party. Now, I know that sounds crazy that you have two listening parties for an album, but this is Kanye we're talking about. Some people like it's not that crazy, but still, it's unusual to have two listening parties for an album. So the listening party number two was set on August 6th, and honestly, in my opinion, it was the best listening party. Leading up to the listening party, we got a lot of news about Kanye and his camp inside of the Mercedes-Benz Stadium doing stuff like working, eating, Kanye attending games at the stadium because he was staying in the stadium. So that's why he later in the final album he said they're playing soccer in my backyard. I think I see Messi, which is a great line in my opinion, solid line. So uh, so in the 2 weeks between listening party one and listening party two, I was the most excited because I got a lot of news about Kanye and what he's doing in his camp. And one of the things that made the excitement at an all-time high on listening party number two is a live stream, a 24-hour live stream of this jail room, this one, that Kanye was staying in with his people. And the 24-hour live stream was amazing. I saw a few hours of it, and honestly, we got a lot of fantastic clips from it with Kanye. So, as Kanye fans, when you see the artist, doing a performance art of some kind of that this 24-hour live 24 hours live stream, you just say, that's it. He finished the album. Like we're getting the album. So listening party two rolls out again to a sold out crowd. I'm not sure. I know yeah, it's to a sold out crowd. If it is, I'm gonna say yeah. So listening party two comes around with different visuals. This time Kanye is looking Kanye is putting like has a bed and a few things in the middle of the arena. He has people spinning around him, and um, the album starts playing, and people get excited again. This album sounds better. This album sounds a little bit different, a little bit better. And one of the bombshells of listening party two, which I witnessed live, was when The Weekend was revealed to be on Hurricane. Now, Hurricane is a song like that was teased is it like with the Yandi release. Again, I keep coming back to Yandi back in 2018. So now we have The Weekend on a Kanye song that has been long awaited. This is fantastic. A lot of people get really excited, including myself. When I heard his voice for the first time, I was like, "Wait, who's this?" And then I realized it's The Weekend. Like it's fantastic. Now, uh, as you know, that our story doesn't end here. if our story ended here, I wouldn't be really making this video because two listening parties, not that ridiculous. I mean, still, it's kind of cool and it's kind of weird and Kanye and very Kanye, but still, if our story ended here, it would have been a very happy story. But during the performance, he Kanye didn't perform during like the show. Kanye is seen holding a cell phone. Now, if I can find a picture, I'll put it up here. And rumors start that the album has mixing mistakes. So, you know, I still believe that the album would come out. And the next day, the album still didn't come out. This is Listening Party 2 we're talking about. The album did not come out in Listening Party 2. And it just didn't. And we didn't get any news. We got news from like Kanye people like Casey, which has a song on the album. He tweeted a couple of weird tweets, like basically teasing that the album is coming today or something, even though it never came, which is just embarrassing for Casey. I mean, he probably didn't know, but probably like should have not tweeted teasers like sooner or stuff like that. So after listening Party 2, I think it was the most dead time for any Kanye fan. We got two listening parties and no album still. So, oh, I forgot to mention the Listening Party 2 album is even longer with many more songs. Like, bruh, I'm now black. So, back to what I was saying. The new album of Listening Party 2 had many new features, had many more songs. This is the track list from that Listening Party 2. And you know, people were so excited to finally get it, especially with the weekend, and we never got it. And in the few weeks after, which was 3 weeks, not two, 3 weeks, we got nothing from Kanye, and we got barely any news. Now we heard news that the people that Kanye was moving out of the stadium, and we expected the album to drop the next day and the next day and the next day, and it never came. So people just were desperate, including myself, and I just said, you know what? This is a fever dream. This album will never come to be. This album will never release. And 3 weeks later, a little bit before 3 weeks later, Kanye announced a third listening party. You heard that right. A third listening party. Who does that? Which artist can make three listening parties and people would still attend them? And all the listening parties were also hosted by Apple in live streams as well, which is just crazy to think about. Now, listening party 3 comes around. Finally, finally. And you say after listening party 3, the album came out, right? You know, the listening party 3 performance was controversial. It was weird. He had the baby and Marilyn Manson. They were just sitting on a porch. He had his house's mom rebuilt for listening party 3, which built some hype. Here's a hard picture of listening party 3. And listening party 3 came, and the songs had a few changes. Like Jay-Z wasn't on the album, Kid Cudi wasn't on the album, Glob Glob, this dude, bruh, was on the album. But again, the album never came that day, which was the 26th of August. This is the third listening party we're talking about. And the album never came. Now, in the days after, not the days, and then one day after, which was Saturday, uh, people were just fuming. We're never getting this album. And Kanye's just gonna make million listening parties. Memes came around about listening party 60 and more listening parties and stuff like that. And people were just done with this rollout. They've already been done with this rollout since it didn't release with Listening Party 2, but now this is it. This is like the worst thing that could happen. You tease us 3 times and you give us nothing. But against all odds, on Sunday morning at 8 a.m., which was Sunday at 3 p.m. my time, the album came out. We heard news that the album was being uploaded to DSPs, which are digital streaming platforms, but we already heard that many times. And so back to what I was saying. So back to what I was saying. The album got uploaded to DSPs, which is we got news that the album got uploaded to DSPs, which is digital streaming platforms. But we already heard that multiple times throughout the other listening parties, and nothing came of it. So on Sunday morning, the unexpected, the impossible happened, and the album actually came out. Like, this is insane. Nobody thought this would happen ever, but it did. So I know I'm like exaggerating, but as a Kanye fan, I'm Kanye's biggest Iraqi fan. It was really exciting, surprising, and just just the whole experience to just get the album out of nowhere, out of after hyping it up 4 times, 4 different times, and not getting it. So after the album came out, it got mixed reviews, not because the album itself, but because of Kanye's actions during Listening Party 3, which is the heart picture that I already showed, which has the baby and Marilyn Manson. And so, um, we got the album. Finally, we got the album. So back to what I was saying. After the mixed reviews, because Marilyn Manson and the baby, the fans love the album, including myself, and everyone started listening to the album, and then it started breaking records. Now I'm gonna talk about the album itself in a future video. I'm gonna review the album. Now this was just to talk about the rollout and what happened and what I saw happen with I think I'm pretty accurate. Now this isn't an extensive look at exactly what happened at what times. There's just a summary of the rollout that happened, because I just felt like making a summary for YouTube. Because if you didn't experience it, you really missed out on some very weird stuff. Like, Kanye had us in a chokehold. Man, I don't want to say that. That sounds weird. Kanye has an abusive relationship with his fans, where he abuses us with disappointment after disappointment, and then he comes out with a fantastic album, and then we love him again, and we forget anything happened. I did not forget. That's why I'm making this video, to not forget. Now, I hope you enjoyed. I know this. I know my storytelling isn't the best, or I didn't go over a lot of details, but I tried to cover as much as possible. I'm gonna try to edit this video as much as I can, and hopefully I'm coming back to YouTube. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully the audio is fine and the video is fine. And take care. I don't know how to do an outro. Goodbye, I guess.